Hello everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of All About a Fursuiter, the series where we interview furries, get to know a little bit more about the furry fandom, one furry at a time. Yes. So in this episode, we're going to interview a very underrated furry, someone you probably never even heard of, and that is Shanaki Wolf. So Shanaki Wolf is a really positive, caring guy, and I'm really happy to have him on. As always, Shanaki will ask him 5 questions, and at the end of the 5th question, Shanaki will ask me a question. So without further ado, let's get into it. Boy.
Hi Benji, so thank you very much for having me on your show. It's a great honor. I've seen a lot of your work. It's phenomenal. You're an incredible positive force in the fandom, so I'm very honored and privileged that you chose me to be on your show, and thank you very much for having me.
Shanaki, that honestly means so much. Honestly, I just want to do this series to bring more positivity, more kindness, more light into the fandom. So hearing that really does mean a lot. Seriously, thank you so much. We're honored. We're all honored to have you on, Shanaki. So, on to the first question now, and that is, why a demon wolf?
Growing up, I always felt a connection to characters who had a darker side to them, who may have just been a little misjudged, or they were the loner, the lone wolf, if you will. Characters like Cloud Strife, Shadow the Hedgehog, characters of this nature, they always just grabbed onto me, and they had a good caring personality deep down, but they just had this darker side to them. So when I decided to finally bring the Demon Wolf character into it, I would be remiss if I didn't give him a quick shout out to the person who helped create it for me, and that is my good friend Tyler Storm. There is not a phrase in the world that perfectly sums up Tyler to me, except just an amazing soul. He's just so sweet and kind and loving, and I provided Benji some pictures that you might be seeing, but when I talked to Tyler about the character and what I wanted him to look like and exuberate, I just gave him a few pointers. I didn't tell him in depth anything specific. I just said, here's the idea, just go with it and see where your artistic talent takes you, and that's what Tyler came up with. And as you know, the pictures may be gruesome and horrifying and scary, but when I look at them, it blew me away. So the character, the darker side of my character was created through Tyler's brilliance, and I'm so grateful for him. So the Demon Wolf is just basically the character you see in front of you right now is the nice side, and the Demon Wolf is just the darker half.
You know, that actually makes a lot of sense now I think about it. That's really cool. I mean, there's a lot of underrated characters, underestimated characters like Shadow the Hedgehog. Actually, Shadow the Hedgehog is pretty cool, I'll admit. So, that is really neat. I love it. I really love the story you got there, man. That's cool. Yeah. Now, on to the second question, and that is, how did you find the furry fandom?
Well, that brings me back. I found the fandom in 2010 when I was a senior in high school. And I'll elaborate on this a little bit more in a future question, but needless to say, 2010, my senior year, I was going through a lot. I was not the best person. I was very withdrawn. I didn't talk to a whole lot of people. Even the people that in high school that were my friends, I distanced myself from them, and I kind of kept everybody at arm's length, and I didn't really talk to a whole lot of people, and I really wasn't genuine with a lot of people about my feelings and stuff like that. So I kind of just withdrew and kept to myself. My first fur crush is actually how I found the fandom. And my first fur crush was Sly Cooper. And Sly Cooper, to me, he was just the perfect, he was kind of like a James Bond, Robin Hood furry combo, and he just had this suave to him, and It was around this time I was also learning about myself and figuring out I was gay. And I just really liked Sly Cooper. So I started just looking online and trying to see if there were communities that just discussed animation and stuff of that nature. And I came across the furry fandom.
You know, I think that's really, really neat, man. That's an awesome story you had there. That's so cool. It's cool you found it in 2010, and so I found it in 2017. So again, I think that is really, really awesome. Yes, 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 yes. On to the third question now, and that is, what are some of your favorite con memories?
I gotta give a shout out to Anthro Northwest, which happens in Seattle. And it was kind of the first major con experience that I ever had. And it was also the first convention 2 years ago when I wore this to my first con and I got to meet people. Another one that I have to mention, I'd be doing a disservice to myself if I didn't mention this. The following year when I went back to Anthro Northwest, I got to meet probably the furry that has inspired me the most. And that's someone I know most of you've heard of, and that's Telephone. When I found out Telephone was going to be at Anthro Northwest, I was like, I hope I just get a minute to just see her in suit or say hello, you know, just to get the experience to meet this wonderful person.
That is so awesome, so neat. I've never been to a Western convention, a West Coast convention, but I want to so badly at some point. That's really nice, man. I love it, yes. And now, on to the fourth question. Now, this one's a little random, but I want to learn more about yourself with this, and that is, who's your favorite NFL team and why?
And one thing that I brought to kind of share that might give away my answer is this. Now you might be asking yourself, why are you a Baltimore Ravens fan? Are you from Maryland? Did you live in Baltimore? And the answer to both of those questions is no, I've never lived in Baltimore or in Maryland, or actually I've never lived in the Northeast before. So you might be asking, well, why are you a fan of a team that you've never even lived near? I grew up in a very, very small town in Oklahoma. And when I was in high school and a kid prior, you got to understand, during that time, we had no professional sports teams. We don't have an NFL team. The Oklahoma City Thunder didn't exist until I think 2009, 2008. I may not be 100% on that, but we never had a basketball team until then. We never had an a Major League Baseball team. So we never had pro sports teams. So I became a Ravens fan simply because I would watch football with my grandfather, and one day we were watching a game, and I see this mountain of a man who moved quick as a fox, but he hit like a semi-truck, and his name was Ray Lewis. And one thing that you might not be able to notice, but this helmet is actually signed by Ray Lewis, and it's because of him I decided to play football. I ended up playing the same position as Ray Lewis, and even wore his number.
I decided to put this over my first suit, and yeah, as you can probably tell, my favorite team is the Chiefs. Again, I have no problem with the Ravens. I actually have total respect for the Ravens. I think I really do, but of course me, Kansas City Chiefs have always been all the way. Who's your favorite sports team? Be sure to comment that down below. Also, all of Shanaki's links will be in the description down below as well, so check him out, yes. And now, on to the fifth and final question, and that is, what are some positive things you would want to tell to the people watching at home right now?
You know, the biggest thing that I'd like to share with you guys is this fandom is all about meeting people and getting to, you know, make friends. And, you know, I think right now, especially just the way our world is right now, and it's sad to say, is there's not enough love and positivity out there. And, you know, everybody is going through something or facing challenges or, you know, dealing with anxiety or depression or whatever their situation may be. Something that I have said many times is to kind of quote one of my favorite video game franchises, Kingdom Hearts, is my friends are my Sora in the game says my friends are my power. And I really love that phrase because when we're down and when we are sad, those who love us are friends, and the friends who are so special they become family. They're the ones that pull us through and help us stand when we can't do it on our own, and help us feel better. And the positive thought that I would want to share with you guys is make sure you're checking in with your friends and your loved ones. Be there for them. Talk to them if they're having an issue. Sometimes we may get caught up where we want to fix the problem. Sometimes what our friends and loved ones want more than anything is just an ear that's willing to listen.
I know it's a really touching story, Shanaki. It's important to hear those things, so thank you for that. Now, on to the switcheroo question now. And that is where Shanaki is going to get asked me a question. And that is, let's hear it, Shanaki.
And in closing, I just want to one more time give a big thanks to Benji for having me on and allowing me to share with you guys a little bit of myself and with Benji's audience. So Benji, on this final piece, I have a question for you, my good friend. And that is, if you could change one thing about the furry fandom for the better, what would that be and why?
Oh, that's that's probably the hardest question I've gotten yet, I'll be honest. Let me think. What is one thing I would want to do if I could change one thing in the fandom for the better? What would it be? Whew. Oh my gosh. Honestly, I would love to make the fandom. Oh gosh, I don't know. That's so difficult. Honestly, I'm gonna just say this because it's always been my goal since I found the fandom, and that is just to spread positivity and help others where I can. I know there's always gonna be negativity in the fandom and just in the world in general, but I want to do what I can. I want to do my part to spread positivity and keep helping others where I can. So I suppose that would be the one thing. I can't really think of anything else other than that, so yes. I want to give a big thanks to Shanaki for being here. Huge thanks. He's an amazing positive person, amazing person. Again, I'll leave all the links to Shanaki in the description down below if you want to check him out. Really nice guy, so be sure to check him out for sure. I hope you all enjoyed this. If you did, give this a like, subscribe, turn on notifications. But as always, I bid y'all a good farewell.